Joining me, we have Katie Kinsella, Sales Executive at ELB Learning, where she helps learning and development professionals create game-based training strategies to educate and engage their audiences. She's going to be taking us through a Jeopardy game. There is money on the line. We have a prize for you today. The winner will get a $100 Amazon gift card, but that means you must give us your real email so that we can contact you if you win. And without further ado, Katie.
Excellent. Thank you. Stephanie, are you going to put the game link? You don't have to do it quite yet, but will you be adding that in?
Yes, I will put the link to
Excellent.
the game in the chat because we want all of you to play along with us.
Excellent. Well, good. It's nice to meet or, be here. I'm super excited. I'm not sure if you mentioned another way to win is we're going to have a fun Jeopardy game, and the winner of the game, as Stephanie mentioned, is going to get a $100 gift card for Amazon. So good right around the holiday season. So use that proper email address. So the objective today is I want to play a game with you all so you can see what playing a Jeopardy game is like from the user experience. And then after we play the game, we'll have a winner, but then we'll be able to go in and look at the back end of the platform to understand why we're utilizing games. Yes, games are fun, but there's a lot of reasons that we're using games to understand, if people are learning, what is sticking, how people are performing, are they coming back and playing multiple times? At ELB Learning, we're the only company that has the sole licensing rights for Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. So we work directly with Sony for those games. And Jeopardy is just one of our 11 different game mechanics that are intended to be essentially a do-it-yourself game authoring platform, right? So you have your content that you want to push to your learners. You can put it into the format of a game and get it out very quickly, as long as you have your content ready, which is the hardest part. Jeopardy and trivia are two of our game mechanics that can be played in the way that you're going to play it now. At DevLearn, we played this on a stage where everyone was able to scan and play in the audience. Cell phone, tablet, computer. All of our games can be squirm wrapped, deployed a variety of ways, iframed in, and things like that. So without further ado, we are going to play the Jeopardy game. Stephanie has just put in the chat the link to the game. So if you can sign in and get all the way until it says start, then you'll be set to go. And I will keep an eye on registrations to let you know how many people I have signed into the game. If you want to just watch Stephanie's screen, you can do that as well. Just know you won't win the $100 Amazon card.
I promise not to reveal any of the correct answers. I'll just be showing the game on my screen. I won't be clicking any of the answers, so there will be no cheating here.
Stephanie will not be the winner of this game.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, I see I've got about 13 people signed in. Excellent. 14, 15. As we're getting signed in, one thing that I'll mention to you all, you'll see that when you signed into the game, there was a few different fields. That's really a cool area because that's all customizable and what you're capturing on that sign-in field. So let's pretend you're using this at your company and you've got learners that are maybe, let's say, sales reps that are coming in from all different states or locations. You could have one of those fields be region. So Stephanie Ivick could sign in and say, I'm in Cincinnati. Katie Kinsella could say, I'm in St. Paul, Minnesota. Then when you go and look at the analytics later on, you can start understanding, hey, our sales team in Cincinnati is crushing it. They're really understanding the content that we're pushing out. Maybe this is directly tied to why their numbers are so good. So it's just another area to, capture some really great analytics and data that we'll be going into in a little bit. I've got about 29 people signed in. Maybe let's give it a couple more minutes. Stephanie, what do you think?
Yeah, give everybody a couple more minutes. I will paste that link again there in the chat for those of you just joining. And we'll give it a couple more minutes for, wow, Katie, what's the theme of today's game?
It's everything in the kitchen sink, I believe, is the title. So it's a lot of random information, decades to just a lot of different kinds of trivia. We merged a few different games that we had built. A couple things. I'll start kind of mentioning some of the rules of the road for the game, right? So one of the cool things is if you are joining a little bit late, you can still join the game. Unfortunately, you might be at a slight disadvantage if, for example, somebody has already answered 2 or 3 of the questions correctly and you're coming in a little bit late. You might be a little bit behind, but you certainly can join late for these games. These games, there's 2 different kind of question types that you're going to have. I believe, if I recall, there's maybe 1 or 2. I know there's at least 1 text input questions. The text input question, spelling matters. So you want to try to get that spelling right. That's up to the person that builds the game. If they want spelling to matter, you can have it automatically autocorrect the typing if you want. You can have unlimited permutations of spelling errors. Speed matters. So if you and somebody else get it right, it's whoever got it correctly the fastest that's going to be higher up. And we'll be able to show you the leaderboard as well as we play. The other one will be a multiple choice for your question. And again, you have all sorts of settings in the game that you can, make it randomized. So if I'm standing next to Stephanie and playing with her correct answer might be in the top right, mine might be in the bottom left. So a lot of different things that you can do, and you can have timers for the questions, etc. So we have about 34 people. I think let's get going, just so that we make sure that we have enough time to go into the back end of the platform to look at the really great analytics. I am going to unmute the site for a second. And this is just to show you that we have the beautiful Jeopardy music that goes along with the game. There you have it. You're welcome, Richard. And then I'm going to mute that. And we are going to start the game. So what you're seeing here is the Culver City, California set of Jeopardy. So again, we work directly with Sony to make this feel, very authentic. Here you've got the 3 categories. Usually what we do in a live audience is I would, look to see who signed in first. Maybe I'd have them ask which category and dollar amount to start with. And that's just an exciting way to make everybody feel engaged in the process. Do just the format of a webinar. I'm going to use Stephanie as my person that's going to guide the board. So Stephanie, if you would like to let me know which category and dollar amount to start with. Sorry, let me just say, so everyone, I will be selecting the clue that will come up on your screen. You're all answering on your own device or your own, web page. So the answers you're doing.
Yes, you need to click on the answers. So you will see the screen that I'm sharing that'll change, but click on your device, click the answers that your soul tells you is right. And you'll watch mine just count down to 0, and I'm going to get every single one wrong so that I don't reveal the answers. But let's start big. 80s and 90s for 600.
I love it. Okay, excellent. So here we have in 1995, this Major League Football quarterback retired after winning 4 Super Bowls, being named the Super Bowl's most valuable player 3 times, and setting a Super Bowl career record for the most passes without an interception. Get ready. Get those fingers ready. Who is Joe Montana, Dan Marino, John Elway, or Brett Favre? Let's see, I'll give you a little time to answer that. As you can see, the timer is going down on your own device.
Going down. I'm feeling stressed out. I don't know anything about football.
It's hard not to answer. I've done that before. It's very difficult. Okay, time's up. We're going to show correct. And there you have it. So the answer is Joe Montana. Wow. Okay. So this is an interesting one, and we'll look at this a little bit later, but from my screen, I can see that you were almost exactly divided in half. We had about 19 people that got it correctly and 18 people that got it incorrectly. So you have an opportunity in our games where you can put in corrective feedback. So this is just an opportunity to make it a more rich learning environment as well. If you got it incorrect, you might have a different kind of feedback given to you. All right. Where are we going?
Let's do an easy one to make us all feel better for those of us who got that wrong. Movies for 200.
Movies for 200. Excellent. All right. This 2007 animated film features the culinary adventures of a rat named Remy who aspires to become a chef in a prestigious Parisian restaurant. It's a delightful tale of following one's dreams. All right, ready? What is Lady and the Tramp, Ratatouille, Pepperonata, or Eat, Pray, Love? Okay, a lot of people like this one. Excellent. So we've got 5 people that haven't answered. You don't have to answer if you don't want to risk the points, but go in. All right. Couple people left. All right. I'm going to show correct. Just about everyone knows that this is Ratatouille. And this, I think, is a very fun fact. None of the rats had, or none of the human characters had toes. That's right. So there you go.
I mean,
We're
who
learning
needs
something.
those?
Who needs toes? Okay, Stephanie, where are we going?
All right, let's do back to 5th grade for 400.
Back to 5th grade for 400. This historical document is comprised of the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. Ready? Let's see what you all remember about school. What is the Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, Bill of Rights, Gettysburg Address? All right. A lot of you listened. We'll let that timer go down. We haven't had a text input yet. I know there's a couple of those coming, but we'll.
I was just glad Ratatouille wasn't a text input.
That'd be a killer. All right. So most everybody got this right. We're going to go. It's the Bill of Rights. So there were originally 12 amendments to the Constitution, but the first 2 were never ratified. Amendments 3 through 12 then became the Bill of Rights. So we'll go back to the board. One thing that I want to tell you as we play this, well, actually, I'll tell you when we're kind of waiting for the timer. Stephanie, give me another category.
All right, movies for 400.
All right. So in this movie, Jack Nicholson played the role of Colonel Nathan Jessup and was famous for the line, "You can't handle the truth." All right. Show possible answers. What is A Few Good Men, Gettysburg, Memphis Belle, or Top Gun? All right. We got a lot of Jack Nicholson fans. What I was going to say is as I'm playing or running the game, I have a couple options that I can do. And one is jumping straight to Final Jeopardy. So if right now in this webinar, I needed to pass it over to somebody else, I have the ability to go ahead and skip to Final Jeopardy so that we all feel a well-rounded ending to the game. So just something to highlight. All right. Just about everyone got this right. I'm not going to call out the people that did not, but we had about 6 people that didn't get it right. But most everybody got this right. It is A Few Good Men. Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon, Cuba Gooding Jr., whole star-studded cast.
Well, for those 6 people, if it makes you feel better, I've never seen this movie either, so I've probably gotten it wrong.
There's your weekend plans, everyone. It's a good one. Where are we going?
Let's do back to 5th grade for 200.
Excellent. All right. This state of matter cannot change shape. All right. This is another school one. What is a solid, liquid, gas, or all of the above? All right. A bunch of smarties out there. These are the kind of questions I overthink and then just inadvertently get wrong while it should be fairly straightforward.
I mean, I would argue with enough dedication, you could change the shape of any of those.
Right. That's right. I agree.
Try hard enough.
Let's push. All right. We're going to go to show correct. It is a solid. So there's some more information we're going to skip for the sake of time. I want to make sure we get time to look at the data and analytics and what we're capturing by this game. Where are we going, Stephanie?
Let's close out 5th grade with 600.
There we go. All right. This is what the little dot above the lowercase I is called in the English alphabet.
This one's tricky.
What's a period, a tittle, a dash, or a bit? This is a smart crowd. Got a lot of people that, or at least 5th grade level smart.
You really walked back that compliment. You're like, I'm so smart. Well, actually, I don't know.
Excellent work, everyone. All right, we're going to show correct. It is a tittle. The lowercase I and J are the only letters that have tittles in the English alphabet. Where are we going?
I'm positive that I never learned that.
I don't
Let's
think I did either.
do 80s and 90s for 200.
Excellent. Okay, so now you've got the daily double. So this can be randomly put within your game. So you can just take your little bar and slide it to what you want to wager. Our average wager right now is about $1,100. I'll give you a couple more seconds. Let's see. Got quite a people that haven't weighed Yep. All right. They're doing it. Go all in, peeps. All right. I'm going to hide that wager in 3, 2. Now I feel bad. 1, because they're still coming in. All right. 2 more people. Let's see. All right. I'm going to hide that wager because it might be you, Stephanie, as one of them. The Spice Girls, an English pop girl group, originally went by this name prior to switching their management in 1995. Let's see who's a Spice Girl fan. They're back on Netflix right now, you know, if anybody's into that. What is Touch, Spicy, Dead Disco, or the Sugar Babes? Are we ready? Did I not let anybody answer?
I don't think you did.
I don't know what just happened. I'm so sorry, everyone. Well, you're all at an equal disadvantage. So I apologize. I don't know what just happened. My finger just.
Did you?
Well, anyway, it's Touch is the Spice Girls. So we'll go back to the next question. I promise I'll allow you to answer. Where do you want to go?
Let's do 80s and 90s for 400.
Excellent. Okay, the first 24-hour cable news channel was established in 1980 by Ted Turner. Text input, people, so spelling matters. Type in your answer. Got 11 people that have it right. 16 people have it right. Most people know this channel. Give it a few more seconds. Good job. Apologies on that last clue. That was not fair.
Sabotage.
It's all in good fun. 24. All right. Let's see. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds. We're going to show correct now because we're out of time. CNN was the answer to that clue. Upon its launch in 1980, CNN was the first one to provide 24-hour news coverage. Seems like everybody does now. So we're going to go to the last one. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one for you, Stephanie. All right. One of my favorite movies, an iconic scene in this romantic comedy featured John Cusack's character holding up a boombox outside his girlfriend's window. All right. Here we go. What is 16 Candles, Say Anything, Footloose, or The Breakfast Club? Give you a little bit of time. All of these movies, I mean, awesome. Put favorites if anybody has a favorite one of these in the chat. Curious if there's one that everybody loves. All right, most people are getting it. Well, you know what? We've got quite a few that maybe don't know this movie. We are out of time, folks. We are going to show correct. This one was one that if this was something that I was teaching, I would make sure that people understood that Say Anything is the movie that we're talking about with the movie In Your Eyes. If you haven't seen it, Lloyd Dobb, so good. We'll go back to the board. Here you get a chance to have a look at what the leaderboard looks like right now. So hang on though, because we still have Final Jeopardy. So Avon, you're looking good. You're looking good. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss the leaderboard. We're going to go to our Final Jeopardy. If you have money in your account, you can wager. If you don't have money in your account, no worries. You still can answer the question. You're just unable to wager. So let's see. We've got an average wager of about $1,000. All right. We've got about 31 people that have wagered. 33. I think my number that I'm looking for is 37 because I think we've got 2 that aren't playing.
While we wait for everyone to put their wager in, we did have a question. So for the CNN answer, if you didn't use the acronym, like if you put the full name of the network, was that wrong?
It is wrong because the way whoever built this specific instance of this game put it as CNN was the way that it needed to be answered. But if you, for example, were building a game and you wanted that to be an option, you can build the game with that being an option.
Yeah, so it
Great
depends
question.
what the game builder puts in there as the correct answers. And you can have,
Oh,
like,
sorry,
you can
sorry.
put in multiple variations
Exactly.
of correct answers.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's say, let's go to, let me just see something. Can you see the clue right now or just the
Yes,
picture?
I see it.
Okay.
Well, no, I just see the spaceship.
Okay. Let's go to it. Spaceship. I'm sure a lot of people already kind of know where we're going with this. Here is the text. The lovable ET in this movie, considered one of the best alien movies of all time. Loved this candy. This is a tricky one. Spelling matters. This is a text input. That's my clue to you. Ready? Here we go. What are all right, we got 3 people that got it right. 6 people, a couple people got it wrong. It's all right. Excellent. We are about out of time. I'm going to show correct. This is one we usually get kind of an emotional reaction to for people that potentially didn't use the apostrophe. And again, that was the way that this specific game was built. So it's Reese's Pieces. We had, it was pretty split on who got that right and who got that wrong. So in a second, we're going to go back to the board and we're going to find out who the winner is of this $100 Amazon gift card. Just realize that it takes just a second to refresh. So sometimes the person that's at the very top of the board might shift down or they might maintain. So
don't celebrate too early.
yeah, don't
Give
nope
it a second.
early. You know what though? I'm looking and I think Avon had a pretty good lead. So I think Avon, congratulations. You're the winner of Jeopardy today.
Woo!
Woo!
And we will be emailing you for your $100 Amazon gift card. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Excellent. Okay. So now we're going to get to the kind of behind the scenes. And so what I want to do is I want to show you the back end of the platform, show you specifically the analytics, and then we can open it up for any questions that people have. Obviously, you can put questions in the chat as we go. I am not going to show you your exact game. I could go into your exact game, but rather what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I had this exact game played internally at ELB Learning, and I'm going to show you that so that I don't put anybody on this call on blast for, getting incorrect questions, et cetera. So I'm going to go into that game. Right now, what you're seeing is the back of our platform, and I'm going into a specific game. Here you can see it was DevLearn 2023. This was a game specifically that we played internally with all of my colleagues. And you can see here that we had 157 sessions. There was 98 players. We're going to go into this game and we're going to start exploring the analytics associated with this game. As you can see, these are the same clues. So when we look at this game, you can understand exactly, kind of how our team did with the exact same clues. So you can see it automatically populates to the last 30 days that this game was played. And here I can start slicing and dicing that. So if I put this out to my team internally at my company or my organization, I can start understanding, hey, who's playing this game? How are people performing? How did people do today? Maybe we had a conference for a week and I wanted to look at that specific amount of time. You can do that. I'm going to look at all time that this game was played. Just for data's purpose, I can see here on this dashboard, I can see that 98 players played this game. I can see what an average score was. I can see how many completed sessions there were, right? So, if you look at this just on its head, we can see if there was 98 players, people came back and played more than once in many instances. I can see that for the most part, they were all playing in single player mode where you just saw it in a facilitator led mode. They took about 3.5 minutes to play the game. So very short bursts of learning that they can do within, getting all of the same information that you just got through a group environment. I can see there was a 70% accuracy. So this was content that a lot of people were comfortable with. Here, if you look here, I can export this data. So when I was referencing earlier where you can sign in, like when you all sign in with your name and email address, if you wanted that to be territories or regions, or I'm in marketing, I'm in sales, I can export that to a CSV and really start slicing and dicing that data to deliver to stakeholders, to be like, hey, this group's doing excellent in this area. And you get a lot of really great information from playing a game. Here I can see when people were playing and when they weren't. This looks funny because I literally pushed, Kristen and I pushed this out to the team and everybody kind of played immediately and then we didn't push it back out again. But this is an opportunity for me to be like, hey, everyone, what do we remember from what we played in that game back in September? And I could push that game back out to my learners again. I see there's a couple questions. Is there anything I should answer immediately, Stephanie? Or maybe questions, maybe it's just, okay.
It's just me.
Okay.
Saying in the chat that if you have questions, put them in the Q&A panel and Katie will be happy to answer those.
Perfect. Thank you. So now what I can do is, as you all saw the way that you signed in here, I can see the people's information, and this is all internal information. So this isn't anything that you can't see. And I can see all of the email addresses here. And I'm going to pick on my colleague, Josh Bledgy. So we're going to go into Josh and I'm going to look and I'm going to see that Josh played this game that I have 3 times. I can see that each time took about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I can see the first time Josh played, he got a 50%, but Josh wanted to come back and improve his score. So he came back and he got a 90% and he came back and got 100%. What's really cool about this is we know from an internal case study of looking under our own hood that when people play a game 3 times or more, that there's typically a 58% lift in knowledge from them just coming back and playing that game. And that's with, let's see, less than 7 minutes of time spent. I can then go in, and these are the same questions that you all remember. So I can go in and I can look at the actual questions that we have. Maybe that first one is a pre-knowledge check. I can understand what did people know before they even started. I can see that they came back and played, which questions were still a little tricky, and how they did the third time that they came through. So this gives me a lot of really great information on how people are performing specific to this game. I can close that, and then I can look. So that was looking at Josh. Now I can look at an aggregate. So let's say I had my whole division play this game. And I can go and look at all of the clues that I had built in the game. So these probably all look familiar to you all. I can look at all of these different questions. And this accuracy that's kind of this first grade category is the one that I typically would look at. So 69% accuracy, 57%. We'll go down. Let's see, this 37%, this looks like probably the hardest question that we had in this game because only 37% of the people got it right. So I can pop into that and I can start getting a lot of information to understand what were people picking. And actually it's kind of split around. People were kind of picking everything but touch. So that gives you some information of how people were performing. Now, as somebody that has created this content, this gives me an opportunity to say, you know what? I need to make sure that my learners understand that it's touch. So maybe that's simply me going back into that game, which I can go over here to the edit game. I can go specifically to that question and I can say, you know what? I'm going to add a picture. I'm going to add a little video. I'm going to add some more information and content to make this resonate more. I'm going to save it and push it back out and see if people start understanding that. Okay, I'm going to pause because I see there is a question. Can this be set so the questions change? Like if you have 6, yes. Yes, you can. In most instances, when you build the game, the question was, I'm not sure if other people can see that, if you could change the questions that come about. Jeopardy is a little bit different because you're setting your board, but in a lot of our other game mechanics, you can have it so that each time they only get a certain set of questions that they get delivered. You can set things like, I only want them to be able to play it once. I only want them to be able to play during this time frame. Those are all things that you can add in the settings of your game. I don't know if that was, are there any more? we can provide you, our case study is really the biggest one that shows us. Also, one of the things, anyone that's here that wants to have actually a trial of this, I'm going to put up my contact information. You can reach out and we can get you a trial where you can have 2 weeks and bring it into your corporation and utilize it as though you're a subscriber, and you'll get the data and analytics like yourself, like literally your own story. If people are coming back, and they are, and how many times they're coming back, and how those scores, just like I showed you in the analytics, are lifting internally, depending on the games that you're pushing out. I'm just going to show you a couple things, and then I'll open it up for any questions. I just want to show you a couple things on the game builder. So this is, as you are building any games, we like to say that if you have your content ready, you can build a game 30 minutes to an hour. It can take you to populate the game if you have your content ready. That's the most difficult part, but it walks you through everything. It gives you all sorts of options. Like if you have timers on the question, sometimes people don't want a timer on the question because they want them to ask a colleague or go to the internet or look at their notes. You can do that. If you want to have a percentage of questions for passing, right? So maybe we're adding this to like compliance training. You can do that. This is what I was referencing. If you wanted to have limit sessions, if you want to have learn more URLs, maybe at the end of a safety game, we're going to the OSHA website. And it just walks you through typing everything in of what the category is going to be about, and then how you're registering them. So we're a subscription-based service, so you want to just gather unique user information. I want Stephanie to play as many possible games. I want to incorporate games into the overall learning strategy that we're doing, but I want Stephanie to get counted as just one person. So you can decide how you're doing that. And that also speaks to how you're deploying these games. So if you're like I said earlier, everything can be SCORM wrapped. You can embed the games, you can iframe them in. The way we did it today, I copied the link to the game and put it in the chat. You can play it in that way as well, or send it out via an email as well. There is a question, is this an additional subscription to your current one for games? No, our game mechanics, they all come together and they're one subscription. I hope that maybe answers the question. Any other questions?
I think that's all of them so far.
Here's my information. Feel free to reach out to us. We've seen great experiences across industries, across users, across kind of job categories. A lot of the time people will say, I've got a more mature audience, or I've got a younger audience. We find everyone plays the games. One of the most important things, we played Jeopardy today. We have 10 other game mechanics. Some people might not respond to Jeopardy. Some people might respond better to a fast-paced game, like an endless jumper game, or a match game, similar to like a Candy Crush game mechanic. Some people might respond more to like a scenarios-based game, a branching narrative game. So there's all sorts of different games that you can populate your information in. And we often suggest put your content into a few different game mechanics, because Stephanie might respond better to one game mechanic and Kristen might respond better to a different one. So today was just a snippet of, hopefully you got to see what it's like to play a game. You get that experience, but more specifically, why did we play the game? And that's that analytics piece.